Hey Shrek! Guess what? We are back. We're back in a location at the Richenbar mine that I saw something on Google Maps. You know, Google Earth. Once I go to a location, I always like to look around to see, you know, what maybe I missed. And you know what? I was reading an old map about the Agua Fria, and that there was an Indian ruin, not the one we found, but another one on down the ridge. And I was like, well, I couldn't leave well enough alone, right? I mean, you know, I had to come back and take a look. And you know, a lot of people, they use coordinates and GPS, and you know what? That's probably the smart thing, right? But I kind of like the old fashioned. You know, I kind of like to come out here and see if I can, you know, I can use my skill, whatever skill I have or don't have, to try to find this stuff on my own. You know, using maybe some type of coordinates as far as like natural locators, right? Well, there's a peak or things like that. And so I've got this Indian ruin. I don't even know if it has a name, but we're gonna go down and see if we can't find this thing. We're gonna have to go in about 2.2 miles, and I can't wait though. You know, this is the stuff that gets my blood boiling. You know, this is near, I'm going to call this Badger Springs Ruin because I don't know the name of it. But when I went to Badger Springs after I left here last trip, you know, I saw the petroglyphs and I was like, well, was this a nomadic tribe or was it ancients? And they come to find out, most likely, it is an ancient with a permanent location. So I can't wait. This is going to be so awesome. I'm excited to be back. A little brisk today. Traffic on 17 was insane. Am I the only one that goes, you know what? You know, if you don't want to go fast, that's cool. But man, stay the hell out of the left lane unless you're passing. What a nightmare. I don't get it, but you know what? It is what it is. But we are here. I'm excited. I can't wait. You want to come along and have an adventure today? Let's do this. Look where we're back at. The old ranch. And the ranch and adventure are waiting for us today. I love those old windmills. You know, most of those were made in Chicago. Isn't that funny to think those were made in Chicago? Not all of them, but a lot of them. I think that's incredible. I'm a little chilly today. I guess I didn't expect to have the wind blowing, but I tell you what, if the wind stops, I'm going to be sweating up a storm. Look at that old corral. Isn't that awesome? That is so neat to see that. Like I said, I can't wait to get down here and see what the journey today has in store. Should be an awesome adventure regardless. And wow, can you imagine if those could talk? That area there would have a tale to tell. Now, I've got two ways to go in from what I saw on Google Earth. I can follow the road that would take you to the mine, or I can take a left down this road and then try to figure out where it's going to cut across. And you know, I'm not sure. And you know what? I'm just hoping that we have a great hike. I'm going to take this trail here. Now, I know I've got to shoot across in that direction right there, and it's going to be interesting. But I knew Badger Springs might be an extremely difficult job in getting over there. And this is going to kind of be a needle in a haystack today, but the ruins look like they were pretty good size. And if my bearings are close, they would have been, I'm going to say, we're like right there. Okay, one thing I want to show you real quick is when you kind of transition out of the sparse grass, right? And then you get into the taller grass, man, it changes. Now see what you're avoiding when you're walking through here. So you can see the stones right there, right? You can see those. But when you get into here, now you can't see these rocks. So now every time you step on them, you know, it bounces you around. And I tell you what, it's kind of stressful hiking because it wears you about double what just a regular. I mean, you could triple hike easily with no problem versus this tall grass. And just because you can't see the rocks. So, I mean, it twists your legs all up and down. Now, this is still not as bad as Agua Fria, which is right across that ridge. But I'm going to tell you what, it is an unbelievable hard hike when normally you would think walking across this nice field, it'd be really easy. Here you get where you start noticing poles and stuff like that. You start noticing that, you know, are they the poles that indicate that there's ruins, or they indicate there's a road. Now there should have been a road that came through here that's been shut down for a long time. And I thought maybe that was indicating that, and it was not. You know, the funny thing is when you're doing this, you know, you just take your time. It's almost like you're climbing, but you're not. You know, because this can get really stressful. Hiking this terrain, as crazy as that sounds, if you're trying to make time and push it. But if you're just kind of picking your way through, may not be the straightest line to take, and you just tell yourself, you know what, it's kind of like driving into snow or something, driving in one of them areas where, you know, it's just going to take some time, and you kind of put yourself in a slow down kind of mode. Man, it's a lot less stressful out here because it is really the weirdest place that I've ever hiked. You know, it's always funny, you know, so far the worst part of the trip is what I'd consider to be probably the last half mile. And I didn't know that coming in. I didn't know what I was getting into. And you know, look at that. I don't know what I hit my finger on that caused it to bleed. But just out here, everything pokes you, scrapes you, scratches you. It's almost hilarious. Because, you know, you just look down and you're bleeding, and you get to a point you don't even feel it. And this is some of the worst I've been through since we were in Agua Fria earlier. And in Agua Fria right now, a lot of the grass is beat down from wind and weather. But boy, this is not. This is what I'm going through right here. And then I expect my journey to be over there. And as a matter of fact, if you would have to tell me to guess where it's at, I would say it's right there. And you might ask, well, how I know that is, you know, it's in the vicinity that I was thinking from Google Earth. But you get to a point where you kind of see, as crazy as this sounds, what they look like, the growth around them, and where they locate them. So you get to a point where you kind of figure it out, and it's kind of funny. I will be ecstatic if that is the ruins. It's got the look of ruins, I'll have to say that, but you know, I can't see it yet, so wish us luck, because you got to walk out of here with me It's me and you. So, you know, what do you think? You think there'll be walls? What do you think? It's got the feel of a ruin from here. If I had to tell you what a ruin feels like, that feels like a ruin. But it also made me wonder when I was down at Badger Springs and I looked at those petroglyphs, and then I saw this ruin. And this is a 1,000+ year old ruin down here, if I find it. Well, we're creeping up on it. Man, I hope this is it. I think I see, man, I think there's a wall in there. That brings me to another point that here I am with this high-tech pair of hiking shoes that I just fell down on. And these guys are running around with either some type of sandal moccasin, deer hide, elk hide, or barefooted. Man, I'm telling you, this is, and I don't care if you're born out here. I'm sure if you're born out here, you don't know any different. But my gosh, ooh, I got great news. We found the ruin. We found it. I saw the walls. There are the walls. So we're going to take a little look before we get out of here in this. If there's anything laying out in here, because there's our wall right there. So again, Google Earth did not fail us. Now, okay, so here we are. We're coming up on it. Here's our pottery shards right here. I love to find round ones like that. I don't know why, but I love them. I love that. Lots and lots. Pottery shards. I'm going to try to get out of your guys' sun. Try to walk at that this way. Look at that. That's unbelievable. I love this. I don't care how many of these I see. I'm just fascinated by them. We found the ruin. The walls look really nice. Okay, I didn't know what to expect. You know, what I hoped was I was in an area that was not highly trafficked. And so when I got up here, you know, now those pot hunters knew that there would be stuff in these corners, and that's why you see the corners dug out. Now the sad thing is then it leaves those walls exposed, and once the walls are exposed, then you have a great opportunity for the walls to be destroyed through erosion. And you know, think about this. This is an older one. This is, I'm going to guesstimate 1,000+ years old. They put these stones up here. And look at the quality of the workmanship in here. Isn't this, look at that wall. That wall is spectacular. That wall is unbelievable. But then again, look how they dug this out right here. This corner, they dug the corners because they knew that's where the pots were at. But look at that wall. Look how beautiful that is. And the fill in there. That is just, I mean, again, when you look at the fact that these were put together without mortar and they've lasted this long, it's just incredible. It really is. It's incredible to think that they were here in this area looking across and then down to Badger Springs. Now, I'll be curious to see if we find any petroglyphs at all over here. Okay, you just can't believe how many ruins are right along the highway. And then there's Perry Mesa over there, the famous power lines. Wow, how spectacular is this? I've just been blessed so much lately being able to find this stuff, and I'm getting pretty lucky on my coordinates. You know, and I don't GPS. I mean, I find this stuff, and so when people ask, I mean, I really don't have a GPS. Oh, there we go. Right down there on that edge. There's kind of an upside down peace sign. And Hari would give me absolutely zero respect if I didn't climb down that hill regardless and see what these ancients here have done. There looks like there's a guy down there on that rock. That'd be weird. If it is, he's asleep or dead. Oh, there is. Look at the people down there walking through the canyon right there. There's a whole bunch of them. So that absolutely is a guy. Wow. Okay, I mistook that being Badger. That is Badger Springs right there. Look at that. And those are the walls where all the petroglyphs are right there. And there's Badger Springs right there, and that is a guy. Wow. How unbelievable is that? And that's where they used to go down to the spring. Isn't that crazy? That is absolutely awesome. That is crazy. And you know, they would have been up and down that hill 1,000 times. I mean, if you really think about the amount of ability they would have had hike-wise. I mean, these guys traveled thousands of miles. Oh, there's the cliff wall right there. I don't see any petroglyphs over there. I'm not unhappy about that either. But where did I find the petroglyphs over here? Where did these go to? Oh, they're down, way down. I got to go down another level. We're not even close. And you can see by this trail right here, as steep and as difficult as it is, people have been down here, so I'm not the pioneer on this. So we're going to try to get down here. Now, one other thing too that you got to remember when you're doing this is that grass is like slick. And if you go off the edge of that, it's going to ruin both of our days. Might be good for some hits, but it wouldn't be good for us. I don't want our day-to-day to be our last day. But we are definitely hanging here on the cliff face. And the one thing to always remember too is you have to get out of here as well. Now, I'd be curious to see if there was... See, we might take Badger Springs and climb up to there, but we're not climbing down there and then back up there. That would not make absolutely no sense at all. I was going to take another ledge down, but I'm not. Now, I'm going to guess we're looking at petroglyphs that you probably are not going to see a lot of pictures of, because this is pretty remote right here. Even though you're down there, who's going to hang off that cliff? Now, here's the amazing thing is that guy was hanging off that cliff to put those markings on there. Kudos to him. And look how that rock almost looks like it was smoothed out. And the varnish, though, is really beat up. Wow, how beautiful is this, though? Well, by now you guys know me pretty well, and I always go, okay, do I really want to walk over to that cliff face? Oh, across this? No, I do not, right? And I don't want to walk back that way just because of the soil. But if you guys have subscribed to me and you get my stuff and you like it and you watch it, you know what I'm going to do. They're smoothing up a little bit over there. But again, let's take the location that we don't want to fall off of as we truck across there. You know, that would have been a perfect wall to put petroglyphs on. The good news is since I walked over here, look at this. Look at these ranchers. I love ranchers in Arizona. The configuration of their work. You know, but remember, they're out here on horseback, and their tools are hauled on their horses, right? So they don't have a lot of tools. And you don't see anything out there. I don't see any reason to even step this thing down. I really don't. You know, as we look through these ruins, You know, it's kind of it's really interesting as we go through these. You know, make sure you stay off the walls. There's usually enough pass through here that you don't have to worry about it, but remember they lasted 1,000 years. Try to make them last another 1,000. But every one of these rocks, a person picked up and placed on these holes. And I just find that fascinating. I never get tired of looking at these walls, ever. And I never get tired of being disgusted seeing that one hole where the pots must have been, because they're in every one of these that I've ever been to. You got the deep hole in the corner. That nice run of wall over there. Pretty good sized ruin up here. A lot of people ask, well, who were these people? Okay, so let's talk about that just for a little bit. They call the people up here on Black Mesa and Perry Mesa and Agua Fria the Perry Mason tradition, because there were multiple people here, and they know that because the pottery was different. The petroglyphs are different. So what they think is that just a group of people from different areas coming in from Flag and Prescott and Phoenix and East, they landed here for some reason. And I think they lived in peace here. And they did build forts, and there's massive forts along here for protection. So, you know, they had people that were after them, but I don't think they battled within the mesa. And they got along for a long time until, you know, what they think was the big drought, and then they left. And then most of them became nomadic, and they split out and then became the natives of today, the different tribes of today, instead of the ancients that were here, you know, long before anybody. And those descendants went out to become the tribes that we know today, you know, the natives that we know today in the different groupings. But up here, they think mass quantities. You know, there were 3,000 to probably 4,000 people up here at one time in the general Black Mesa, Perry Mason area. That's a lot of people. That was a ton of people. Now, if you shoot through here and you go to Flag, or you go to Sedona, or you go to Prescott, those areas as well had numerous different people. Now, there's also thought that there was a big movement this way after the volcanoes at Flagstaff, which is definitely true. But there are ruins all along here, and it's just a fascinating. You know, let's take 1 minute and just take this in. Wow. You know, sometimes you just got to stop and smell the roses, you know. It ain't about fast edits and all the cool stuff. And I like fast edits and I like the cool stuff. But you know what? Sometimes it's just about sucking this in and being thankful that you got the opportunity to come here. You got the opportunity to do this. It looks like I see one more petroglyph over there. And it's probably not. But before we get out of here, I'm going to take a look. Well, it's time to head on back right that way, and we're going to take our time and get back. You know, if you like this, please subscribe. If you can share it, that would be so helpful. So share it Share it on Facebook if you can. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. That tells you when we have videos coming out. And leave me a comment. Now, we also have another site on Facebook called Black Flag Expedition. If you like to do this, man, I want to see where you've been. I want to see what you're doing. Man, give me ideas. You got a place or a location you want us to go to, please do it. And you know, I do this for the ones that can't. And so if you enjoyed this, let me know. I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming along. And now we're gonna meander along through this this long journey we've got back to the truck. But what a great day. What a great day today.